Hey guys, I am back with another video, which is kind of long because the coloring portion took me a good hour and a half or so. This drawing took me over the course of a few days because I've been really busy this past few weeks, and I was planning on doing weekly videos. I know I said I want to, but I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to, and that's kind of the issue here. So I'm going to aim to do weekly videos, but I'm not giving out any promises. We'll see how it goes. But I'm really happy with this drawing. It's of my characters basically wearing the costumes of the characters from another anime, which, if you know, it's the one that's really hard to pronounce. I'll just call it Kagerou Project because that's what everyone knows it as. They made an anime out of it, actually, and so I have my characters dressed up as particular characters because I just felt like doing that. So, I haven't really introduced these characters on YouTube, so I guess that's kind of what I'll be doing in this narration since I have a lot of time to do it. The one that not the one I'm coloring right now, but the one next to her, the guy, the tallest one, nearest to the camera. That character, his name is Connor. He is, in the drawing, he is wearing Kuroha's clothes, which is basically Konoha, but like inverted color, I guess. I didn't change the eye color or the hair color of any of these characters because I wanted it to show that it was my characters just wearing the costumes of other characters. So I actually chose him. I originally wanted him to wear the green hoodie, but I decided that he would look better like this just because he has similar hair color and similar like facial structure, I guess. He still looks different, but he's got the same hair length / color, so he can actually pull off the hairstyle pretty well. And yeah, he kind of actually fits like this. It's weird. I think he'd make a good insane person, but that's just me. And yeah, I'm not really sure how to explain my characters. Like, when I actually start talking about it, it gets a little bit weird. Especially when I'm just talking to a camera or mic. It's just kind of, yeah. But anyway, so Connor is kind of like, he's a guy that seems like a jerk, and he, honestly, in my opinion, he sort of is a jerk in his own special way, but he's not that bad once you get to know him. The guy all the way at the end that I haven't even started coloring yet, he's like his only friend because everyone else thinks he's a jerk. And they're kind of right. So, I can't really reveal much about these characters because like so much of it is important to the story that I don't want to give away too many spoilers. But I will say that he is, it's less about him being a jerk and more about him just not knowing how to like convey his emotions properly. So he just comes off as being a jerk because he doesn't like talking to people because they're annoying, according to him, and according to me sometimes, depends on the person. So the person next to him who is wearing in his clothes, which, that was a hard decision. I wanted to draw her wearing Momo's hoodie, but I'm like, I don't want to draw the kanji on it, it's just, I don't want to do it. So she's wearing that instead, which she wouldn't actually wear. That character's name is Olivia, by the way. She would not realistically wear the skirt because she hates wearing skirts, but it does kind of like suit her personality. Their personalities are very similar. She's like the energetic type. She likes doing stuff and being active. Her main activity is running a theater, a rundown theater in the old town, I guess you could call it. These characters are in dystopian settings, so it's kind of like, you know, well, you guys probably know what dystopian is, you know, post-apocalyptic, that kind of thing. If you want to think game-wise, think like Fallout, that's a very good description. But this game has like a similar setting, so it was kind of hard figuring out what I wanted her to do. But I figured that a theater would actually be a good idea because it'd be like a place for people to like relax, because, you know, in a dystopian world there aren't really other forms of entertainment. Well, unless you count killing people, but I don't, so, you know. But, you know, I just kind of figured that would be a good place for people to just, like, wind down and relax, and I wanted these characters to just sort of be a part of that. And I also challenged myself to use only my sketch markers, I think, with this one at least. I'm pretty sure that's what I did anyway. I might have used, no way, I used the other ones. Okay, never mind. But I tried to use a lot of them. I've been doing that recently because my other markers are running out. But anyway. So I wanted to give her I wanted to make her more relatable than most of the main characters that I always come across in these types of stories. So she's one of those characters that'll get things done. She knows enough about, you know, self-defense to keep herself safe, but she's not, like, specialized in it. She is more of a field medic than anything else, but she knows enough to keep her safe, and she's got her own special abilities. All of my characters have a special ability, and you may have noticed, but a lot of my characters have different colored eyes. That is very important in the story, so I can't really go that much into it. But let's just say that their eyes will have an important role to play in the story and in their abilities, and you really can't tell, but Olivia actually has a greenish blue eye and then a blue eye. It's really hard to tell because they look almost exactly the same, but that was kind of the point. I wanted it to look like they were the same, but still have the subtle difference for anyone who bothers to look hard enough. And yeah. So, personality-wise, like I said, Olivia's a bit more cheerful, energetic type. She does have a fear of putting stuff on her face, I guess. She doesn't wear makeup even when performing in the theater. She doesn't like putting anything on her face. That's why I didn't put the things on Anna's face on her, because I knew that she would freak out, and she was already out of character enough that I wanted to keep that. But yeah, it's actually kind of interesting because at one point in the story, one of the characters jokes that she would look good if she had like painted her face for some costume, and then she completely gets freaked out by the idea. So yeah. Anyway, those are two of my characters so far. The next one I'm coloring right now, her name is Vivian, and she's actually a lot taller than that. She's pretty tall, but she always appears shorter than she really is. So I wanted her to look pretty short, even though she's actually pretty tall. She's the invisible one. I can't really go that much into her abilities, but let's just say it has to do with her reflexes and a certain element that happens to be of a heated nature. Okay, so Vivian is kind of, her hair is actually a lot like mine in a strange way, but she is the character that is probably the closest to me, even though she's not really anything like me at the same time. But she is very quiet. She doesn't talk to people. She is very jumpy and paranoid, and she doesn't really like get along with people that well, typically, and she has a hard time socializing just because she keeps thinking that everyone who talks to her wants to kill her, which is good sometimes, but let's just say when Olivia tried to talk to her, she probably ran up a wall. She may or may not have hidden in a cupboard. So yeah, I'm actually working on the thumbnail sketches for a prologue to this story, so I'll see if I can get that done. Vivian is very, she's one of those people that just kind of stays quiet because she has to deal with a lot of stuff going in her life, so she kind of doesn't like talking to other people about it. For some reason, it just doesn't like work for her. So she tends to stay quiet. She doesn't talk to that many people. I think the person she talks to the most is probably Arden, who is the character all the way at the end, who I have not colored yet. But it's not really surprising because he's one of those characters that pretty much everyone can talk to. So, but yeah, Vivian and Connor are actually siblings. Vivian is, in this drawing, she is 15 and Connor is 21, so there's a bit of an age gap there, but I wanted to try doing it because whenever I create like siblings as characters, they seem to be closer in age than usual, so I'm just like, I want to try a bigger age gap. So Vivian, Olivia, and Connor have actually all been around for a long time, but for the longest time they only existed in like literature, because I always wrote stories about them when I was younger, but I never put them down on paper like this, and their names have changed a lot too, I think. I don't really remember. But I never really got that far with their stories. I just knew that they were characters that I wanted to do something with, and so recently I drew them and I've started creating a story around them, so. Okay, now I'm drawing Arden. He is wearing, oh, I forgot to say, Vivian is wearing Connell's hoodie, which I want in real life. I really want. Because that is an awesome hoodie. I would totally wear that every day, everywhere, and be weird, but, you know, that's just me. And, Arden is wearing Keedle's hoodie, which really fits him, even though he's a guy and, you know, all that, but it just kind of works. I like the way the purple matches his darker skin tone and his hair, which is dyed. Don't worry, I'm not going too unrealistic here. He does dye his hair. But, Arden is actually, I guess his main ethnicity is Native American. I can't really give my characters a certain ethnicity because it's dystopian, you know, futuristic. I'm pretty sure no one is all one ethnicity anymore in my story, so his most prominent ethnicity, I would like to say, is Native American, or more specifically Incan. So he is the, I guess you could say, the tattoo artist. He has one on his face, as you can tell. He actually has a few more, but you can't see them. And you probably can't see the one on his face either, maybe if you look closer, but anyway. He is the character that I kind of wanted to create for everyone to talk to, I guess. He's the person that is very open to listening to people, but he doesn't talk much about himself. And he doesn't really, like, he's not really judgmental or anything, so people always feel like they can talk to him, even though he is probably, like, in his mind being all like, why are they talking to me about all this? But he's a polite person. I always imagined him as being a very polite person. He's probably one of my newer characters, actually. But, in the story, he's kind of one of those characters that you feel like you know a lot about, but you find out really quickly that you don't. And I can't tell you that much about his backstory because he is very important to the plot, and I can't really say anything without spoiling, so sorry. But I will say this, he is around 18, 17. No one really knows exactly. He may be older, but yeah, he's in his older teens, possibly early 20s. And he is one of those characters that would probably sit you down to tea and crumpets instead of killing you. He's a very diplomatic person, and he's the one that calms everyone down. So yeah, I really enjoyed drawing my characters like this. I don't draw them enough. Like, I don't draw enough detailed art of them, I guess. So anyway, I will work on more speed paints in the future because I like doing this. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I didn't manage to record quite all of it, but here is the end result. And this final picture is on DeviantArt. I will link it in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! I'm waving, but you can't see.